Hello everyone, today we'll be looking at the architecture portfolio that helped me land my first job in architecture. I'm gonna be using the flipbook feature from Co-Architecture. If you are an architect or someone in the construction industry in Australia and you're looking for work or you would like to see what opportunities are available out there, Co-Architecture is a great place to look into. Other options available online for showcasing your portfolio include websites like Issue. Anyway, here is my profile page and within it I have my portfolio here. So we're gonna jump into the portfolio starting from the cover and discuss it. So the work in it is the work I completed over the course of my studies at Curtin University. And hopefully there's some takeaways from having a look through it that could help somebody else as well when they are designing their own portfolio. So here's the cover page. It is just a render of one of my projects and I desaturated it and added my name to the top left there. If I flick through, here we are on the contents page and there's like an about me section on the side, so very brief. If I flick through, here's the very first project in my portfolio, and this is a project I completed in my third year of studies, so it was my final bachelor year. And the idea with the first project is that it's important that you make a strong first impression. You can imagine someone could have many portfolios to look through, so it's important to grab their attention and have an impactful first project that really showcases what you can do. So here I have a full bleed image on the left that is a render, a key moment in my architecture there. And then to the right we have some more information in the form of diagrams, a plan, and here an exploded axonometric drawing. There's a balance as well between having a full bleed image and then smaller and medium-sized images on the opposite page, and then some text to help elaborate on the project. Now the idea with the portfolio is showcase your ability to design projects, to think architecturally, and so this is what I'm trying to do here through this first work I have chosen. So I won't go too much into the specific details of each project. I might leave that to a different video if that is something that could be interesting for others. I'll just touch on the portfolio as a whole. So in this next two pages here, we have again a full bleed image that is a side isometric drawing, and I highlight a couple of icons here to symbolize the function of these spaces, and then again a brief description about it on the bottom right. I also give an idea as to the context of the side that is important, okay? And then here I also have a little north point there that is done in an isometric way. Cool. In this other page here, again, to balance out between the two pages, we have more white space, and so I have two renders of other moments in this project, as well as a section cut that slices through about here, where I'm showing with my mouse, and it showcases the inside of some of these spaces. And notice how the section as well, because we have the fill here on the bottom, helps to ground the page by placing it at the bottom there. Cool. So that is really it on the first project. My structure for my portfolio here, I have 4 pages per project, and so that we can keep moving through it. Having a consistent layout for your folio also helps, as it showcases you have a coherent approach and structure to how you organize information. The next project here is from my second year, and it's a leisure center. Again, notice that there's a consistency here, the full bleed image to introduce the project and hopefully build some excitement around it. A pure and sort of evocative moment in the project. And then here on the opposite side, I showcase the distance between the road, how the project is situated on top of the hill, and a plan for the project as well. I took the area under the section here, or the side section, to showcase my plan and layout of the spaces. I also use some textures here to show the finishes. I have a scale for some of these drawings as well as a north arrow. So if I could scale the drawing to a specific architectural scale, albeit, you know, 1:300 is not an architectural scale, but it worked in the context of this page layout, then you can and should include a scale of some sort. Or before flicking through, this is 1:300 at A3, I should mention. Okay. Alright, and then here again, we have more of a full bleed image of an external arrival shot of the project. And on the opposite page, an isometric drawing where I'm trying to explain a little bit more about the spaces. Okay, the third project here is a bowling club. This speculative proposal here looks like in this initial render here. And so we have a combination of brick and concrete that becomes apparent here. And again, we're using the full bleed image and some other drawings on the opposite page that explain more about the building. So introduction and then elaboration here on this side. We have a site isometric that contextualizes the project within the site and shows what's immediately around it. We have a diagram talking about the concept of the project. And then here on the bottom we have 2 floor plans. For the ground floor on the bottom and then the first floor on top. The roof is very important here, so I have sort of dashed it in there. Alright, and then here we have a section through the project, and I explode, if you like, some of these spaces here, or I blow them up to a 3D perspective render to show what the experience would be like within each of these spaces. And by looking at it in context with the section on the bottom, we can see the sequence almost of these experiences throughout the project. Be selective about the work that you include in your portfolio, and being selective about 2 things, right? One would be the projects that you include, and the next thing would be the content for each project. You don't need to show everything you've done at university, and you don't need to show every drawing that you've created for the project. Include the key information. Remember that sometimes, as Mies van der Rohe says, less is more. Okay, so the 4th project, also you can notice there, so we are 17 pages in of 28, is this museum project here, cultural museum of indigenous culture, and I explain a little bit about the project here on the top left, and again, full bleed image, or mostly full bleed, although it sort of fades up towards the top there. And then the opposite page, we're talking context, we're talking plan. If I flick through, here we have some physical model photos of the building. So this is a bit different to my previous work because I hadn't shown this so far, but because the physical model of this specific project is quite developed in relation to other models I have made in the past, or physical models, I decided to include some shots here about the spaces there. And then here on the opposite page, we have a diagram explaining what is the existing building and what is the extension, a section, and again we have the same method of representation that we used in the previous project, where the section relates back to key moments within the architecture. I'll flick through here. This is now the 5th project. It's from my first year and it is a small pavilion structure. So again, full bleed. Then here on the opposite page, we are talking concept, how I arrived at these shapes that are so important to the project. There's an artifact that we had to build as part of the study as well. And from this artifact that was derived from these artworks up here, I then extracted forms or pieces, if you like, that would make their way into the final architecture. So I'm showing the train of thought behind this project through this second page here. I'm trying to do so quite briefly at the same time. I don't want to show every sketch I ever made on the project, even though there could be some sketches for your specific case that could be important. I want to be quite selective. If I flick through here, make sure that you refine your drawings for presentation, so you can revisit some of the work you've done throughout university and go back in and Photoshop your drawings and make them really stand out and communicate your architecture in the best possible way. Some more drawings on this pavilion. Isometric elevation plan, exploded isometric, we have a side plan, and we have a perspective. And I'll flick through, we're near the end of the portfolio now. So in 2017 I participated in this competition. It was a very quick 2-day competition. This is the proposal that me and my team came up with here. And then the final project here, this is something that we actually built. So it's a physical project that we did at Curtin, and it's a seat that takes on this shape. It started off as a concept here using the bamboo and the timber, and eventually we would fabricate the pieces and create the seat. And that's it. So that is my portfolio in a nutshell. Awesome, so this is the end of this video. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video or if it's helped you in some way, and subscribe to the channel to see more content that I plan on making in the near future. Thanks again for watching, and have a good day.